Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everyone to the class Artificial Intelligence. So yeah, still on the deep learning and cognitive computing. Previously, we have discussed on machine learning. So we have discussed previously the what does it mean by deep learning, okay, and how it's changing the world of computing, okay, and then the what is shallow ANN, and then learning process. Then when we see that if we are on the deep learning, then we have vanishing gradient problems, okay, and then how to tackle that one, okay, using the new transfer function and so on. Okay, now we'll move on to the CNN, okay, and later on RNN and LSTM, okay. Okay, so let me go through. Hold on. Not this one. Yeah, this one is deep neural network. So basically, the more layers you have, then you have a deeper network. Okay. Okay. Now let's focus. Today, let's focus on CNN. Okay. What is CNN? Okay. So let's see. I'll demonstrate some of the concept. Or maybe I need to go back to the signal processing so that you can appreciate what is happening on CNN. Okay. And it's easier to use the two-dimensional because you can see in one go rather than, of course, the CNN also can be applied for one-dimensional signals, okay, like ECG, like audio, EEG, and so on. Okay. Okay. Now let's see one by one. So CNN are among the most popular type of deep learning methods. Okay, and initially designed for computer vision application, image, video processing, and text recognition. So from image, then you go to the recognition, okay, then become the text, okay. So this is image recognition or text recognition. So the main characteristic of the CNN is having at least one layer involving convolution. Okay, now let's see what does it mean by convolution later on. Okay, what does it mean by convolution? Okay, so it is a linear operation, so not non-linear, but linear operation. Basically, it is just multiplication and addition. Okay, nonetheless is multiplication and addition. Okay, so this is convolution. So don't worry about the mathematical term. We can see later on how easy it is to do the convolution. Okay. And then convolution layer is often followed by pooling or subsampling layer. This is to reduce the computation and to have generalization. So you will not have the overfitting. Okay. Yeah. So keeping only the important features. So there are many different type of pooling layers. You can have maximum, minimum, normally no, because you want to find the dominant. Okay. The keyword here is important or dominant features. Okay, so hopefully if you have dominant, then more or less you can capture the important characteristic. Okay, so for example, what would be the dominant or the unique features of Indonesian, let's say, color skin? Okay, so light brown, for example. So that's the dominant features. Okay, of course, some is more whiter, some are more blacker, and so on. Okay, but the average, the most important part is the dominant feature is light brown, for example. Okay, and you can apply to any other things. Okay. Oh, what is this? Yeah. Okay. So now let's go to the fundamentals. Yeah. So this is the fundamental of DSP, digital signal processing. You have analog input. It doesn't matter whether it is a one-dimensional signal, two-dimensional, or even three-dimensional signals. Okay, you can have also sometimes four-dimensional because you have 3D image with the time. Okay, this one normally 2D image with the time, so become video. Okay, this one 3D image with the time, so become four-dimensional. So this is, for example, in the case of ultrasound imaging. So you can have also 4D image. Okay, so the baby is moving in 3D inside the mother womb. Okay. Yeah, so you have digital signal, process the digital signal, you have the output. And the best, yeah, this one is from DSP, then you have many things here. Basically, you change something, okay? You do some processing and you have the output here, okay? But the most basic fundamental is this one, which is the filtering, okay? So the most basic one is filtering. So you want to filter which signal that you want, Okay, so for example here, you have some noisy signals. If you can see here, you have some sudden change. Okay, sudden change. Okay, whenever you have sudden change, then means you have high frequencies. Okay, if you want to make it smooth, then what you need to do, you need to put low pass filter. Okay, so this is the result when you pass into the low pass filter. There's no more sudden change. Okay, any sudden change will be removed. Okay, it reflects the higher frequency. So something like this. This is lower change. Okay, lower frequency. Sudden change is high frequency. Okay, so when you reflect it into the combination of signals, is something like this. Okay, so this is the high frequency components that you want to filter. Okay, so the idea is filtering. This one later on can be applied, the filtering, or sometimes you can say also convolution. Okay, so this the term convolutional neural network is come from this one. Okay, from image processing. As I mentioned earlier, convolution is nothing less than multiplication, addition, multiplication, addition, multiplication, addition, and so on. But of course, you have some structure here. Okay, you have some structure, but you have multiplication and you have addition. Okay, so this is when you put into the Z transform. This is the transfer function. Okay, you transfer the input to the output, and you have the transfer function. Okay. Yeah, so let's see this one. This is, for example, you what is this? This one, I think the aliasing. When you don't have enough sampling frequency, sometimes you can find the aliasing. Okay, you have the aliasing. Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is our core today, which is the filter design. Okay, so yeah, so you have many things for filter, but basically you have something like this. Okay, so you have the image. Okay, you put on the averaging. Okay, averaging filter. Okay, and you can see here the approximation or the blur version. Okay, this is the approximation. Okay, and you have put on the high pass filter, and then you can see the edge. So this is the details. Okay, so when approximation plus detail, then when you add these two, it become this one. Okay, so you have the two components of the signals. Okay, one is low pass filter, one is high pass filter. But of course, this one you put it on two-dimensional, it's become like this one. So this is image filter. Okay. Okay, hold on. So what's the characteristic here? You can see the so what are the CNN? CNN is nothing less than finding these coefficients. As you can see, what are the different characteristics? The averaging, you can see when you add when you add all the component, it is not 0. Okay, this is equal to 1. Okay, but when you add here 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus minus 4 plus 1, oh, this is wrong, sorry. This is should be 0, 0 here. Okay, so 0, 0 here. Okay, so when you add this, it become 0. So normally this is the characteristic, and this is Laplacian. So you are trying to find the edge. Okay, if you apply like Sobel filter, for example, okay, 1 to 1, and then you have 0, 0, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 1. So you are finding the horizontal Sobel, means that the result will be this one no more, this one no more, okay, and this one a bit no more. Okay, sorry, this one a bit no more, the horizontal part. Only the horizontal part will be kept, okay, and the vertical will be removed because you are only applying the Sobel filters. You can see when you add 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus minus 1 plus minus 2 plus minus 1 equal to 0. So this is the characteristic of Sobel filter or high pass filter. Okay, in essence, you can define any other things. So let me put some example because before I move on, let's see. Maybe we go some simple example first. Let's see if I have the image here, for example. Okay, I have the image. Okay, let's say. So I try with the basics because so that you can appreciate later on what is CNN. Okay, when you appreciate, then you can later on know how to use the CNN in real application. Okay, let's just to make it simple: 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then you have 100, 0, 0, 100. Okay, so let's say 200. So let's say we have the gray image, okay, from 0 to 255, the pixel value. Okay, just make it, yeah, so you can put random here. Okay. Okay, you put random here, you put random here. Okay, just 100. Okay, let's say you want to calculate the new image, you convolute with the, let's say, Laplacian earlier. Okay, so you have the Laplacian 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, minus 4. Okay, when you add, becomes 0. Okay, let's say this one only. Okay, this part. Okay, let's see this part. Okay, so you want then you need to prepare the same image size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we are focusing on this pixel only. Of course, you need to start from this one, this pixel, until the end. So you go here like this. Okay, so you go there like this from the beginning until the end. So you need to do convolution from the beginning until the end. Okay, later on we have something called stride. Okay, so we are jumping. Okay, jumping, not every 1 pixel, but every stride pixel. If the stride is 2, so you are jumping not from here, then next one will be here, next one will be here. Okay, so you are jumping by 2. Okay, now let's see here. You just put this center, put this center into this center. Okay, so you multiply 0 with 0. So 0 times 0. Let's say this is pixel value, and this one is the filter value. Okay, so you have, let's put the pixel value first. 0 times plus 0. Okay, plus 0 times plus 100. Okay, plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 100. So this is representing this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, then you multiply with the filter coefficient here, 0. Okay, plus 1 here, times 1 here, then times 0, plus times 1, times minus 4, times 1, okay, times 0, times 1, times 0. Okay, so I think you can get the steps, okay, how to do the convolution of an image. Okay, then what you have here, of course, you just put here 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. I make it 0 so it will be easier to calculate. Okay, 400 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. So the result is minus 400. Okay, so you put here the result of convolution is minus 400. Okay, so that is the convolution. Okay, you can try with this location. Okay, it means that you do location here. This is the pixel value 100, 0, 0, and this is the filter value 0, 1, 0, 1 minus 4, 1, and so on. Okay, let's see in action maybe. Okay, so let me go to my MATLAB to see this one. Okay, I have this image one. Okay, the one that I showed earlier. Okay, so let's see image read image one PNG. Okay, I created the image. Then let's say we want to have the we want to find the diagonal. Okay, diagonal. So our filter, our convolution equal to, let's say minus 1, minus 1. So hold on. I want to put here. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah. So I want to put, instead of this one, I want to create something like this. Okay. I want to find the diagonal. Okay. Let me put here how to find a diagonal directly. Let's say this one. It doesn't matter. Okay. 1, 1, 1, 1. So you have 4 like this, and then of course then you have minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Okay. Let's say like this. So you try to find the diagonal. Okay, try to find the diagonal like this. Okay, since the what you call, you can see the boundary here. It try to find something like this. Okay, so minus 1, minus 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1. So let's implement our own filter. Okay, so let's implement our own filters. Okay, so this one will be minus 1, minus 1, 1, and then minus 1, minus 1, 1. Okay, 1, 1, 1. Yeah. Okay, so this is the C. This C here similar like this. Okay, then you do some filtering. J equal to image filter I, C. Okay. Then I've done the filtering. Let's show the J. So you can see here, you can see this try to find the edge here. Okay, of course our filter is not what you call is not good, because you need to have actually something like Sobel. Okay, the Laplacian is only using one filter, but you might have another filter. Okay, but you can see it's capturing the diagonal features. Okay, you can see here it is capturing the diagonal elements of the image. Okay, so that is the convolution. Okay, so I hope you understand. So basically what we are doing here now, the CNN is of course not necessary it should be also high pass filter. It can be anything. It can be also what you call low pass filter. The low pass filter will take the average. The average, if I want to check only the shape, I don't care about the details. Okay, then you apply into low pass filter, then you get the approximation. Okay, but if you want to see the details, you want to see the distinctive features, then you can put high pass filter. Okay. Okay, let's move on. Now let's go back. So I have to appreciate this convolution is filtering. Okay, filtering with the low pass or high pass. Okay, that's convolution. So our job is later on, the CNN will try to find automatically the weight here, the value of the coefficient, the value of the filter coefficient. It will try to find automatically. Okay, so that's why you have so many layers. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Maybe this is the what you call the global feature, then more details toward that one, and later on you close with the MLP or fully connected layer. Okay, to define the classifier. Okay. Okay, so in the case of MLP, is multi-layer perceptron for image size, for example, 150 by 150 pixel. We have 150 by 150 here. So each input matrix will contain 22,500. So you can see here, you just multiply and then you create, this is the as the matrix input, you put it as one column, for example. Okay, you put it as one column like this. Okay, you can concatenate into one column, so this one become your input layer. So your input layer from 0 to 22499. Okay, for example. Okay, then go to MLP. Okay, you can see here how many parameters here. It's a lot here, a lot parameters. Okay, for this small image, you have 22,000 parameters, and then remember that this one will go to the weight. Need to find the weight from weight 1 until weight 2250, and this is only one. Okay, remember that you can also have something like this. Okay, you have also all connected to from one input here, connected to your layers. Okay, connected to your first hidden layer here. Okay, so not only weight, but you need also to find the bias for each one. Okay, so you can see how big it is. Okay, so in single layers requires thousands of weight parameters to be defined and trained. Okay, so it increases the training time if we are using the stochastic gradient descent algorithm. Okay, so the solution, one of the solution is we are using the convolution function, which is parameter sharing. So instead of go directly to the MLP, what will happen? You just define what are my this is called kernel or mask, okay, or filter. Okay, the kernel or mask or filter. Remember, this is the kernel or mask or the filter. So this is means low pass filter mask. This is mean high pass filter mask. Okay, so you want to define this one, a kernel. Then after that, so you just need to define this 3 by 3 kernel. Then you apply to the image. So starting from the beginning, okay, and then move to the next one. Okay, move to the next one, move to the next line until the end here. Okay, so you do convolution one by one. Okay, pixel by pixel, you do convolution. So of course you have it include the multiplication and so on. Okay, include multiplication and so on to find the characteristic of the image. But you can see the weight is only shared among only you just need one weight here. Okay, but it's shared to the whole image. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether the image has 150 by 150 or even you have a high definition image, for example 120 by 1080 pixels. Okay, But you can see when you multiply, it's a bigger number, right? Maybe millions of input. But still, what you need to find is only this one. Okay, so that's why it has faster training. Okay. So in a convolution layer, instead of having a weight for each input, there is a set of weight referred as the convolution kernel or filter. This one, okay, that I mentioned earlier. So this is called convolution kernel or filter, okay, which is shared between inputs. So any input here is shared. I can move around the input matrix to produce the output. So this is move around here, okay, from the beginning, go to the horizontally, go to the next row, until the end of the column, and then until end of the rows and end of the column. Okay, so you are doing the convolution. Okay, yeah, the formally then you'll put here convolution here with the matrix kernel. You do convolution, then you add. Sometimes you can also add the bias, and you put here the activation function. Okay, so let's say the kernel is this one. Okay, this is row and column. So if we see Laplacian, for example, in our case, so yeah, for example, like this. Okay, so this is 3 by 3. Okay, 3 by 3 a kernel. So row is 3, column is 3. Okay, so this is the W R times C. Okay, for a given matrix V, this V is the input. The convolution is this one, okay, the formulation. Okay, basically what we are doing is what I did earlier. Okay, so you put image here, you apply the mask. Okay, you move on to the next one, apply the mask. Okay, so you apply to the next one here, for example, and then you apply the mask, you move the mask. Okay, you apply here, okay, to get this value, move to the next one until you go to the end, the end here, then you apply here. Okay, you apply the mask here. Okay, yeah, so this is easier, the matrix, for example. So you have the kernel is W here, and input matrix is this one. So this is the output matrix. So just multiply and add. Okay, so for example, 0, 1 multiply by this value. So 0 plus 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 0. So if you see here, where is it? Yeah, this position. So this position, okay, and then you apply, you multiply with the kernel. This is the kernel, 0, 1, 1, 1. When you add 0 times 0 plus 1 times 1 plus 1 times 1 plus 0 times 1 equal to 2. So you have 2 here. Okay. How to apply this one? In 1 here. So you just apply like this. How come it's become 3? Hold on. Yeah, maybe it's copy from this one. So you just put here. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, so you just apply 0, 1, 1 here. 0, 1, 1, 1. When you add, this is 0, and 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal to 3. Okay, and this is just the copy. Okay, copy from this one. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this is 6. Okay, and this is so this is, hold on, 6 by 3. Now this is become 5 by 2. Okay, because you are you only can do until this one. Okay, you don't do boundary extension. You only can do until this one. Okay. Okay, so when you apply this top left with the top left of the image. Okay. Let's see, for example, this one. Yeah, let me remove this one. Okay, let's see one more example. Okay, you cannot find here, but you only can find this one. Okay, so let's see, apply this one, for example. Okay, so this one is this value. Okay, so you apply 0, 1, 1, 1 here. So you multiply, become 1 here. Okay, 1. Okay, so this is the convolution. Okay, you are doing just multiplication and addition, but you start from beginning, see this one to get this value, put the top left in here to get this value, and so on. So you're moving from the beginning top left until bottom right. Okay. So by applying the convolution operation, we are converting the input matrix into an output, which in which the part that have particular features reflected by the kernel are placed in the square box. So when you put here, what we want to have is the diagonal. Okay, you can see here, you want to find the diagonal. Okay, the diagonal like this. Okay, you want to find these features. Okay, but because this one will be removed. Okay, and this one will be highlighted. Okay, this one, anything Any image which has this highlighted feature, then it will spell out in the output. Okay, so this one is one of the parameters. Okay. So in image processing application, if the input matrix represents the pixel of an image, so this is the image and a particular kernel representing a specific shape. So for example, this is the kernel. So how can you define? This is if you put this on what you call on numbers, it will become like this: 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, or you can put more negative actually. So you can put something like this. Remember that if you want to have high pass filter, you need to put what you call when you add become 0. Okay, so -1, -1, -1. So this is black, and then this is white. Okay, so you are trying to find the horizontal. So what will happen here? This is the result. This one is not captured properly. Okay, but any horizontal will be captured. You can see here, this is the horizontal. It will be captured by this matrix kernel. Okay, so you can see here, if you want to find, let's say you want to find the face. Okay, then you put the face template, and then you can define, oh, this is the face. Okay, you can find the face. Okay, of course you need to have some specific features for the face, normally using hard features. Okay. Okay, the conversion using a kernel size R by C will reduce the number of rows and column by R-1, C-1 respectively. Remember that if we have, so for 2 by 2 kernel, and the automatic will be has 1 row and 1 column less. Previously, what we'll have here, 6 by 3, and the output is 5 by 2. Okay, so you reduce by 1. Okay. To prevent this change of size, we can pad the outside of the input matrix with 0 before convolving. Means that, what does it mean here? It means that we still can have this value, but you need to pad, okay, with 0 normally. Okay, so this is called padding. Padding means add additional information which is not there. Okay, so if you have here, then you can calculate, apply with the matrix here, 0, 1, 1, 1, so it will be 0, 0, 0, 1. So the result will be 1. This one. Okay. Then of course you can find also this value, this value, this value, this value, this value. So 6 by 3 now become also 6 by 3. Okay. So you have 6 by 3 and 6 by 3. Okay. So by the padding, how about this one? Of course you need to do padding also in here. Okay. You need to do padding. Okay. You need to do padding. Okay. In here. Okay. So 6 by 3, when you pad here, becomes 7 by 4. Okay, so that when you do the convolution, it will become again 6 by 3. Okay. And on the other hand, if you want the automatic even to be smaller, okay, we can have the kernel to take larger strides. Remember that we do it one by one here. Okay, how to erase? Okay, we do it one by one. Okay, let me erase this one. Okay, so the concept of stride here is because by default we have stride equal to 1, mean that we do from here, then calculate the next position, calculate the next position, next position, next position, next position. Let's see if stride equal to 2, then you calculate this one, then this one, then this one. So it will reduce by 2 by default. Okay, if you have 6, then to reduce into 3 because your stride is equal to 2. Okay, so stride mean the steps or the jump. Okay, jumping here. So you not by default it is 1. So you do all calculation. So this one will reduce the computation. Okay, because it's jump by 2, but hopefully still can capture the features that you want. Okay. Yeah, so the kernel is moved one step at a time. So this is stride equal to 1. If the stride equal to 2, the automatic is reduced by a factor of 2 because you are jumping by 2. Okay, you are doing something like decimation. Okay, decimation, you take any 2. Okay, so for example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you have the here, and when do the decimation, start by 2 mean you only take 1, 3, 5. Okay, so from 6, okay, you have only now 3. Okay. The parameters sharing reduce computation. Okay, remember that previously what we'll have, if we have 150 by 150 then we need to find the image at least 20, the weight. Okay, the weight, we need to train the weight at least 22,500 weights. Okay, so 22,000 weight. Okay, but now we have what you call, we need to train only the value of the kernel. Okay, the kernel value here. Okay, the convolution kernel value. Okay. And other benefit, convolution layer has equivariance property for translation purpose. So means that any change in the input will lead to a change in the output in the same way. So if you change the output from here, the input from here into here, the output also will be changed like rotation by 90 degree. Okay, similar things. Okay, so moving 10 pixel of input image in one particular direction means moving 10 pixel of output image in the same direction. Okay, another one. Okay, so you are this one, the input, and then you move to here 10 pixel, then your output also will move by 10 pixel on the same direction. Okay, so this is called equivariance. Okay, property means that it is following the input. It can track the change in the input. Okay, so it is a useful feature for analyzing time series data using CNN. When convolution can produce a kind of timeline that shows when each feature appears in the input. Okay, so it shows it's a similar thing, but it appears in the next time. Okay, and yeah, so many convolution operations are used in parallel to extract various kind of features from the data, because a single feature is hardly enough to fully describe the inputs for classification or recognition purpose. Okay, so you can use, that's why you can have many layers, yeah, or even in parallel in the case of inception later on, okay, to get the various features, okay, to get the various features. Remember the concept, okay? So we have for any pattern recognition, this is the block diagram, the basic block diagram. You have feature extraction. Okay, you have feature extraction. Okay, and then you have here the classifier. Okay, and then you have, of course, you train with the database. But normally we have here, remember earlier classes, we have handcrafted features. Okay, so we are trying to find the feature by our own. Okay, means that we try to find maybe the using one kernel, one type of kernel. We do some low pass filter, high pass filter, or in case of audio, we use MFCC and other things. Okay, and normally for image recognition, we do some what you call high pass filter first to get the edge. Okay, so this image, like this one, for example, then you can get the shape, pass into high pass filter, like we have on Laplacians. So you have the shape only. Okay. So, but on deep learning, these two is combined. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, these two is combined. Okay, in the previous block diagram. Okay, so in deep learning, these features combined, and then sometimes you have multiple layers here. The start from the simple features, more detailed features, and then most detailed features. Okay, so you are stacking the feature extraction. Okay, and then you do the similar training algorithm, backpropagation algorithm, using stochastic gradient descent. You start from the output and then you train until the input here. Okay, yeah. And then the input sometimes must be represented as multidimensional tensor. Yeah. Grayscale image 2D tensors, you have only 2D tensors, and color image normally you have 3D tensors because you have RGB plane. Okay, RGB plane. Okay, so this is 3D sensor. Okay, so most of the times a convolution layer is followed by another layer known as pooling. Okay, pooling or subsampling layer. This is also to reduce the computation and to make generalization. Okay, and to consolidate elements in the input matrix to produce more output matrix while maintaining the important features. Okay. The idea here is to reduce the computation, but while still maintaining the important features. Okay. So the pooling function involve R by C consolidation window. So you take if 3 by 3 again. Okay. So So after convolution, okay, then you have the pooling. Okay, this is the pooling. Okay, you apply the same thing. You apply 3 by 3. Okay, for example, if you have max pooling here. So you try to find the maximum out of this 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, so you are trying to find the maximum or average and other things. Okay, so you have average pooling, max pooling, L-square norm of rectangular neighborhood, and weighted average pooling. Okay, so depends on the application. Okay. And then the strides should be carefully selected to avoid overlap. So you don't want to have, for example, overlapping like this. Okay, normally you just put like this. Okay, so you're putting like this. So everyone has this is maximum, one value only. Okay, so from 333, from 9 by 9. Okay, and then your multi-kernel is 3 by 3. Then you have only 9 maximum value of each window. Okay. Yeah, so the pooling operation using an RC consolidation reduce the number of rows and columns. So 3 by 3 for 15 by 15, it reduced to 5 by 5. If 9 by 9, reduce into 3 by 3. Okay. So in image processing, if you place 3 by 3 max pooling layers after the conversion layer, the 15 by 15 output image consolidated in a 5 by 5. Okay, so you have 15 by 15 here. Okay, and now here become 5 by 5. Okay, so what you do, 3 by 3. Okay, so you take this one, 3 by 3, for example. Okay, find the maximum. Maximum is black here. Then you put the black. As you can see, this is the black. Okay, now let's see another 3 by 3. Maybe I put here like this. Okay, 3 by 3. What is the maximum? Is yeah, this one will be the maximum. I think this one, the maximum, the counting the maximum, how many is black, so they put the black. Okay, the black as the maximum, so you put the black here. Okay, so this is this one. Sorry, you need to do overlapping. Okay, you cannot have like this, so you need to do overlapping. So this is 3 by 3 of the first one. Okay, this is 3 by 3 of the second one. The third one, you can see here, black, 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 so become black also. Okay, or the stride, I think it has some overlapping. Okay, so sorry, hold on, I make a mistake here. So it should be 3 by 3. So this is the 3. Okay, so 3 and 3 here. Okay, 3 and 3 here. So all you can see here, this is black. Okay, black, and this is black. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, let's see here. When you put the maximum, what is the maximum value? This one. Okay, this grayscale image. So you can see here, this is the value. Okay, the maximum. Okay, and yeah, so you move on, you move to the next one, and you can see this is the result. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so the real application of deep learning in general and CNN in particular highly depend on the availability of large annotated dataset. So this is the keyword here. How do we train the deep learning? How do you know? So we want to train with the big data. Okay, because the deeper the layers, you need more data to train. Okay, you need more data to train. Okay. So image classification, you have visual feature extraction and image classification. As I mentioned earlier, the pattern recognition. Okay, feature extraction, and then you have classifier. Okay. Extracting feature of dataset using CNN layer is an unsupervised task. So this part, the feature extraction, this is unsupervised. Okay, you don't know which one, because it doesn't need to know. Okay, which class it belongs. Okay, doesn't need to know. Okay. But the extracted features need labeled case to develop a classification network. So after this one, remember that you have CN layer, maybe you have some pooling, CN layer, you have some pooling, CN layer, you have some pooling. And then after that, you have the fully connected layer. This is MLP, fully connected layer, and then this is the output layer. Okay, so this one need to have a labeled data. Okay, so because this is a supervised learning. Okay, so this is supervised learning. Okay. So one of the examples is ImageNet. So you can see here, you can see the image is openly available. Okay, it provides a large database of image. So each link to a set of synonym words or synset. Okay, from WordNet, which is a word hierarchy database. Okay, So each scene set represents a particular concept in the WordNet. Okay, it includes 100,000 scene set. It's sorted by 1,000 image. So you can see when you multiply, it's 100 million image. Okay. But for the competition, the image net contain more than 15 million labeled image in 22,000 categories. Okay, and then let's learn from the best. So AlexNet in 2012 was one of the first CNN designed for image classification for the ImageNet here. Okay, using ImageNet data, they are using the 5 convolution layers followed by 3 fully connected dense layers. So this one is CN layer for visual features extraction. Okay, and this one is the classifier layers. Okay, which try to find the class here. Okay, this is the output layer. Okay, this is the output layer. Okay, you have put 1,000 because you have 1,000 image. Okay. Okay, so you can see here, this is 5 by 5 convolutions. Remember, we have previously tried with 3 by 3. Okay, now this is 5 by 5, so you have bigger convolution. Okay, bigger convolution kernel size. Okay, and then yeah, so then move on to the next one, to the convolution layer number 2, 3 by 3, convolution layer number 3. Okay, and then you have number 4, 3 by 3 again, number 5. Okay, and then after that, you need to flatten. Okay, flatten, make from 2-dimensional into one dimension. You need to flatten. So this is another put here, flatten, so that you become one layer here, one vertical column. Okay, then you can input into the fully connected layers. This one is looks like MLP. Nonetheless, it's like MLP. Okay, multi-layer perceptron. Okay, so this is more details. Previously you have seen 96 value here, number of filters per neurons. Okay, the filter size is 11 by 11. Okay, 121. Okay, and the stride is 4. Okay, so stride is 4. Now you know what is stride is for. So you jump every 4. Okay, you don't do pixel by pixel. Stride is 1 here, but your stride is 4. Okay, it will reduce. Okay, so from 2 to 7, it will reduce to this one. Okay, so it will reduce the size. Okay, the input from 2 to 7 because you have stride equal to 4. Okay, then followed by max pooling, another convolutions. Okay, 5 by 5, stride is 1. Okay, padding is 2. So you now you see what is padding. So you add more. Okay, you add more here. Okay, you add more. Okay, padding is 2. Okay, and then yeah, so this is the size of feature maps, and another max pooling, convolution. Okay, so not necessary you need to put pooling layers. Okay, you can see here on the AlexNet, convolution number 3, 4, 5, it does not have the max pooling, and except for this one, the last one. Okay, this in the middle does not have the pooling. Okay, because pooling will reduce the computation, but it maybe this one the designer say that, oh, this is important features, I don't want to reduce. Okay, I want to keep it. Okay, so that's why it doesn't, they don't have the max pooling. Okay, then after that also drop out. Okay, drop out layer. Okay, so you drop out the result after max pooling. You also drop out. Okay, and then you can see this is divided into 2 because at the time it is trained into using 2 GPU. Okay, so one computers, but you have 2 GPU. Okay, one training into this one matrix train into this one. Okay, and rectifier linear unit, what is that one here? Like this. This is just the simple one. Okay, this is rectified linear unit. Okay, so means, what does it mean here? Anything above equal, so the fx is equal to x if x larger than 0. Okay, equal to 0 if x less than 0. If negative, put 0 here. If positive, then let's keep the value. Okay, keep the value because maybe it is important. Okay, if negative, then this is only or negative, so you don't need to transfer. Okay, So this one address the issue of vanishing gradient problem caused by very small derivative or sigmoid function. So if you go back here, the derivative, then you reduce or you instead remove the vanishing gradient problem. Okay. The dropout layers also, this is the dropout layer. Okay. After max pooling, was introduced as regularization technique to reduce overfitting. Remember the overfitting here? So typically comes after the fully connected layers. So applies a random probability to the neurons to switch off some of them and make the network sparser. So you select randomly. Okay, hopefully you can pick something that is important. Okay, and but still maintaining the good thing. So this is the majority. Okay, you do the sampling. Okay, randomly. Okay, now let's move on. The Microsoft, Google, and Facebook have participated in the annual ImageNet Large-Scale Visual Recognition Challenge to classify 1.2 million input image into one of the 1,000 image categories. Okay, so GoogleNet, the name also Inception because the LandNet is already by LeCun. Okay, the one of the pioneer in deep learning. Was the winning architecture of 2014. AlexNet was 2012. Okay, with a 22 layers, even more deeper. Okay. And only 6.66% classification error rate, slightly worse than the human. So the human have this error rate. Okay, this is the error rate. Mean the errors. I show you the cat picture, and they say you are saying it's not cat, it is dog, for example. Okay, so you have 5.1% error rate. Okay, for human. So what is the inception modules? Remember that how to select which one is the correct one. Okay, so instead of selecting the one particular kernel, okay, you are doing this in parallel. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you have 4. Means that you are trying to see the problem from multiple angle. Okay, you are trying to see the problem from the multiple angle. Okay, multiple angle. So if I didn't catch, if this is elephant, for example, then I can see the elephant has some trunk, elephant has some ear, it's big, and it is like, yeah, so this big, and you have some tail here. Okay, this is only possible if you see it from the multiple angle. Okay, because if not, if you're using one only, maybe you only see the ear, you only see the trunk, and so on. Okay, so that's why the idea of the flop of GoogleNet, I'm not sure why there's 4. Maybe they have tried an error. Okay, so they are fixed with the 4. So the from previous layer, they go one-to-one convolution here. One-to-one convolution means just multiplication by some number. Then here one-to-one convolution, maybe you one-to-one here also maybe so one-to-one. Okay, so this is 1 by 1. Okay, means you are multiplication only by this value. Okay, so you want to normally you see from 0 to 1, so you want to increase highlighted or you want to decrease, you want to keep or you want to remove. Okay, if 0 remove, multiply by 0 mean remove, 1 mean keep. Okay, and then you have also in between. Okay, 10% keep, 90% keep, cap, and so on. Okay. Yeah, so this is the architecture of inception, one inception layer. Okay, 3 by 3 convolution, 5 by 5 convolution, 1 by 1 convolution. Even they do the max pooling first, and then after that you do filter concatenation. Okay, so the idea of inception is use multiple convolution kernel that will perform based on a particular data set. Okay, so maybe one kernel is good on finding only the ear of the elephant. One kernel is good on only finding the trunk of the elephant. Okay, and so on. Okay, and then let the network decide which one to use. If all is important, then all will go there here. Okay, so if somehow it's not important, okay, then for example you see the color here. Okay, the color feature here, let's say pink. Okay, there's no pink elephant, so this is not important, so it will not be selected. Okay, the color, for example, you have the color feature here. Okay, the color pink is not selected because of if you are trying to recognize elephant, it is not important characteristic. Okay. So the inception architecture allow the model to take into account both the local features via small convolution and high abstracted via larger one. Okay, so you are see the in the global bird view, and then you see the details. Okay, So you see the details like this, even here like this. Okay, so you have the high abstracted via larger one, and then you have the smaller one here. So when you see the elephant, you see the overall shape from the bird view, okay, or the detail shape, okay, at the ground. Okay, so it has been used for Google Lens. So if you use Google Lens in Android, for example, you can detect. Okay, it looks like scissors, for example, here. It even can recognize the perfume here. Okay, Nina Ricci fashion company, and which produce this perfume. Okay, it can detect, and then you go to the next one. Okay, the Nina Ricci, Facebook, Google, and so on. Okay. Okay, so the GoogleNet has been used for many applications. Okay, classification, quantization, detection, recognition, and so on. Okay, so it has been used do transfer learning and can reuse for other purpose. Okay, other tasks. Okay, yeah. So this is the GoogleNet. So you have start from the top here, convolution maximum pool. Okay, convolution maximum pool. Now I think you know what does it mean by stride. You know what does it mean by padding. Okay, so you know what mean by pooling. Okay, and then you have the inception, means you have parallel. Okay, you have parallel here. Inception means you have parallel. Okay, you have parallel. Okay, you have the parallel what you call structure. Okay, the convolution to see the problem from various angles. Okay, so GoogleNet is considered to be one of the best architectures to date, and several other CNN architectures have been developed, such as residual networks, VGDNet, SSD, MobileNet, and so on. Okay, so in May 2018, Facebook published a weekly supervised training image recognition using the hashtag posted by in Instagram. Okay, yeah, so 17,000 hashtag, but you can see here using 336 GPUs, and even this one produced few weeks to learn. Okay, because the number is 3.5 billion Instagram image. Okay, so accuracy is improved by more than 2% compared to the state-of-the-art models. Okay. Okay, so what you see here, you can select, yeah, so this is starting from here, 98, sorry, the LearnNet. Okay, this is from Lai Chun, the pioneers in the deep learning. And then you can see here, there's some gap. Why is that? Because I think around 2006 only, the GPU is used for computation. So that's why you have the GPU computing starting from 2006. Okay, so you can utilize the GPU for computation. So that's why AlexNet is one of the reason. Okay, one of the product of one of the benefit of using GPU. Okay, even AlexNet trained using the 2 GPU. Okay, I think yeah, 560 type NVIDIA GPU. Okay, then you have ZFNet. Okay, ZFNet 2013, GoogleNet Inception version 1. Okay, you have the runner-up is VGGNet. Okay, then you have ResNet. Okay, you have SqueezeNet, Inception version 2, version 3, DC General Adversary Network. Okay, GAN. Okay, Inception version 4 here. Okay, 2017, you have MobileNet or SSD, MobileNet version 2, MobileNet, GhostNet, and maybe 2021, maybe you will develop one. Okay, new one, or 2022. But you can see from here what are the difference. So this is need large computation. Okay, this one need large computation. You can see here need a large computation. Okay, even here. Okay, and then and this is the size of parameters. Okay, for example, SqueezeNet only okay in bracket 1.24 million. So you squeeze. Okay, so maybe this is only 5.2 megabytes, the weight and the bias. Okay, the parameters. Okay, the parameters only 1.2 megabytes. You have the depth 18. Okay, where's AlexNet? AlexNet is here, 8. Okay, 8 layers. Okay, but you have see here 227 megabytes. Okay, because the parameter is 61 million. Okay, okay, the parameter is 61 million. Okay. Okay, so you can use this one. Remember that when we have trained some weight, and then it will produce better result. Okay, so if you do transfer learning, your result will be something like this. If you for example, you are taking the architecture of GoogleNet, okay, but you starting training by your own. Okay, so or AlexNet, for the example, but you don't use the pre-trained weight, for example, then it will be behaving like this. Okay, oops, so it will be behaving like this. Okay, so this is without pre-trained weight. Okay, so it goes slowly. Okay, but if you are using pre-trained weight, means you reuse the pre-trained weight and just remove the classification layer. For example, I'll show you the example. Okay, then you can see this is faster. Okay, faster and better result. Okay, means that the process of learning that you have done earlier is not wasted. Okay, you can reuse for your transfer learning. Okay, so load pre-trained network, replace final layers normally. Okay, so previously you have 1000 classification, now you only need to recognize maybe on parasite malaria, you have 6 classes, so you change to 6 classes, you are retrain, this is retrain again, and then you can do the predict and then deploy. Okay. Okay, so remember this one, what was the human error? Around 5.1%. Okay, in 2015, this one is even better than the human. Okay, so you can see how deep learning is now overcoming the humans. Okay, so the human error is 5.1%, but this one is less than human error. Okay, 3.57% error only. Okay, so you can see this is using the shallow, the error is still big. Okay, this one using AlexNet, at that time is the best, 16.4. Okay, then you have ZFNet here, and this is using the GoogleNet is better. This is the runner-up. Okay, yeah. So this is the starting from LearnNet. Okay, 1998. So the maybe we need to go back and read again the paper by Lechut. Okay, convolution, why he do the pooling and so on. Okay, previously only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 layers only. Okay, but at the time maybe it took weeks using the Intel Pentium computers. Okay, at that time. Okay, and this is AlexNet, and this is ZFNet architectures. This is the GoogleNet architectures. This is the VGGNet architectures. This is the ResNet architectures. Okay, the one that is better than the human error rate. Okay, yeah. So you can see here, imagine 1998, only 60,000 parameters. AlexNet 60 million. ZFNet is not counted here. Not sure. The GoogleNet is 4 million, so reduce. Okay, reduce here. That's why training will be faster as well. And VGG is 138 millions bigger. Okay. Okay, so okay, let me show now the experiment.